I'm Dr. Tanya Coakley, professor at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, and I'm also the executive director of Transform You, a mentoring platform for dreamers. What is Transform You? Well, it's an evidence-based innovative platform infused with a diversity, equity, and inclusion approach for transforming individual and collaborative achievement in the workplace. So there are 4 goals of Transform You. They are to enhance the organization's revenue, reputation, and retention of quality employees, to provide tailored flash or long-term mentoring using certified coaches, to help transform people into the achievers they dream of becoming, and to connect people to the workplace community for belongingness. After talking to several customers about what a mentoring innovation should look like, I reached the conclusion at this point that I should further develop Transform You to be an effective, comprehensive, and convenient platform for professionals. And what this looks like would be an evidence-based mentoring platform for professionals who are transitioning. I reached this conclusion based on my customers serving people with disabilities, students, faculty, and veterans. It would encompass cognitive behavioral change, supportive guidance, and diversity, equity, inclusion. Also, it would be tailored to their specific needs. So it can vary with breadth, intensity, frequency, and duration. I also heard that customers wanted something that was virtual and digital, and then also in person. The majority of them would like to have that in person. At this time with COVID-19, they've since been modifying what they have to offer or what they plan to offer in the future. Mentoring is very important. I've been mentoring for a number of years. I thoroughly enjoy working with adults to help them reach their full potential. This project has allowed me to talk to consumers about the importance of mentoring in the workplace. Mentoring can be defined as the process for the informal transmission of knowledge, social capital, and the psychosocial support perceived by the recipient as relevant to work, career, or professional development. It entails informal communication, usually face-to-face, and during a sustained period of time. I've done some research about mentoring on campus and been in other workplaces in corporate settings, and this is just one quote here. College campuses, while expert at offering traditional education, are not as skilled in identifying and supporting their own staff's professional development needs. From my interviews with the consumers for this I-Core project, I found that mentoring leads to professional advancement, good decision-making, high morale, greater self-worth, pride, and belongingness, as well as collaborative opportunities, confidence and competence, and retention. learned a great deal over these last 5 weeks working with ICOR. In terms of the customer segment, I went from a very narrow focus to broadening the scope of this project. First of all, to consider other organizations besides universities and academia. So I'll look at businesses, corporate organizations, agencies, perhaps those that serve veterans, people who are transitioning into the workforce, people with disabilities. I think that's a good idea to go that route, as well as consider other groups in addition to underrepresented groups. Initially, I was looking to serve folks who were people of color, minorities from minority racial and ethnic backgrounds. I've since expanded that to include those groups, as well as some of the others that I spoke about, like veterans, and then also other ethnicities and races, to foster a more collaborative approach with this innovation. I learned a tremendous amount about value proposition. For instance, what are the customers currently doing? From my interviews, I found that that ranges from nothing to revamping their current system. They hire faculty leaders, people who take over the faculty development aspect, and that's for people who are in academia. What are their needs? They need to retain new faculty, for one. They also need to retain underrepresented faculty. They also want to reach military personnel and veterans because of their schedule and possible deployments. They want that to be convenient and accessible. Also, they want to reach first generation students. They want it to be family friendly and again, for non-traditional students, and to address various health needs such as COVID-19 issues. They also need a budget for resources. Currently, they're going after grants, or they fund like an individual position, hire someone. They also use volunteers, or they just repurpose and restructure the workload. And for faculty, that would look like a course reduction. What do they want? They want something exciting and collaborative. They want to bring people together in their workplace and the university. They want to excel. They want their employees to excel. And also they want their institution or company to be seen as some type of hub. They want to be visible. What are they really trying to accomplish? For some, that was a difficult question to answer, but what I've gathered so far is they want to remain in compliance with diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, and they want to enhance their faculty development. What have they tried, and what are they not satisfied with? They've tried mentorship programs, but they weren't satisfied because typically they could only reach a few faculty members or staff, and that was normally based on recommendations. What would make them change? That's still to be determined. I'll continue to do these interviews, and one thing that I'll do differently is that I'll do a lot more of my interviews outside of academia and look into the corporate world and see what those settings are looking to change and what would make them change their current structure. How do they measure success? I'll go back to academia, faculty retention, student engagement, student engaged in faculty scholarship, external funding, and again, to be visible. Who else do I need to talk with? I think I led out to this, additional corporate managers and supervisors, students, as well as various people, individuals who are transitioning. I learned a tremendous amount. I also wanted to acknowledge the I-Corps team for their help, their assistance, and their support. Justin, Sam, and Jan, thanks so much. I'm looking forward to continuing with the interviews and with this mentoring Transform You platform.